It's about balancing those two energies. This is the Hieros Gamos, the sacred union of masculine and feminine. When you balance it within yourself, not only do you become awakened, but you also call in an awakened partner. What is up, Soul Fam? It's Sundar from Substance Over Star, and welcome to a new video. Sorry, I'm trying to see where the camera is. Okay, cool. Okay, so today I want to talk to you guys about Kriya Yoga and my Kriya Yoga journey. I appreciate your patience over the last few days while I took a little bit of time just to focus on building out my membership portal, because I am launching a membership of Kriya Yoga lessons. I've talked about it on Instagram. I've already got a whole bunch of you who've already signed up, so thank you so much to all of those early adopters. You are the OGs. And for those of you who don't know anything about the system, I just want to share a little bit about it with you and see if this is something that you would be interested in getting on board, if it would serve you at this time. Okay, so Kriya Yoga. What is Kriya Yoga? It's actually Himalayan Kriya Yoga. We call it Himalayan Kriya Yoga because it comes directly from the caves of the Himalayas, and it was channeled by Maha Avatar Babaji, who is said to be an ascended master. He's also said to be one of the gurus of Jesus Christ, or Yeshua, taught him the ancient yogic sciences, and it was also the same system that was mentioned in Autobiography of a Yogi. So it's very interesting how I came across this system, because as you know, I spent the most of the lockdown in Bali. I was in Bali for 7 months. I was only supposed to be there for 2 months. And yeah, I ended up getting stuck there. I was supposed to go there for 2 months and then go to Pakistan, and I had a whole bunch of shoots planned in Pakistan. I was going to be doing bridal shoots, and I had a lot of work planned there. And then my ID card didn't arrive on time, which had nothing to do with coronavirus, but it was very perfect timing because Bali was exactly where I wanted to be during the whole COVID thing, because there was no strict lockdown, they're just social distancing. A lot of places were still open, like food places and stuff like that. There were reduced opening hours everywhere. But obviously, because in Asia, the government doesn't, give people handouts. Businesses have to stay open, people have to still support themselves and survive and stuff. So it was a great place to be. They closed the beaches, which kind of sucked, but it's understandable because otherwise they would get quite crowded. And yeah, I really got to, for those of you who are following me on Instagram, I got to establish some structure and really start to, focus on my other business goals aside from modeling and model scouting, which is more what this YouTube channel is about, my real mission here. So that was incredible. I had already started hosting women's circles with my friend Candice, who's also a model, but she lives in Bali and she's now training to become a healer. And she facilitates, me and her started facilitating women's circles together. I'd already hosted a few solo here in my house in London. And then posted about them on Instagram. So she invited me to co-host some in Bali. So if you do go to Bali, I do recommend you look her up. I'll put her Instagram in the description box below, because she hosts really beautiful women's circles. And, she has like a full kind of program of activities, very guided meditations and chanting and, just various different embodiment techniques and stuff like that. So she would invite me to kind of do maybe like a guided meditation or a chakra clearing, or maybe we'd do a journaling exercise. A couple of times I led some chants or some affirmations for the group. And yeah, it was, incredibly empowering for me to be able to finally step into that role of being a kind of space holder for where healing can happen. and facilitating the healing for other people, because I've done so much work just to heal myself, that now I've been called to kind of help others to heal as well. So she was doing a lot of different workshops and things like that and trainings, and I was talking to her and we were discussing various different things. Bali is like the place to be if you want to learn yoga or Ayurveda or Tantra. You do have to be careful because there's also a lot of snake oil sellers, but it's kind of like a real hub for healers, as I've talked about in a lot of my previous videos before. Because of a lot of these snake oil sellers and a lot of these like false light gurus who tend to congregate there and kind of sell very expensive retreats and doing law of attraction stuff, it kind of felt a bit like sleazy and salesy and kind of Luciferian, a lot of it. So I was trying to be very, very discerning about what I would go to, and generally I wasn't really going to anything, and because of social distancing rules, a lot of workshops kind of had been either completely were cancelled or they had to reduce their numbers. So I was just talking to her, and she decided that she was going to do a yoga teacher training, which was interesting because we had discussed before, what kind of systems we were learning, and I'm kind of more from like the Hermetic sciences background. She wanted to study Kemetic sciences, and there's a lot of crossover between Hermetic sciences and Kemetic sciences because basically the ancient Greeks burnt down the library in Alexandria, which had all the mystery school teachings, and then they stole the mystery school teachings for themselves, and then that obviously creates a power differential between them who have the knowledge, those who have the knowledge, and those who didn't. So this was kind of the beginning of like the secret societies and governments and all of that stuff, and government control. So, if you look into our ancient history with the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks, you'll kind of see that they stole a lot of the mystery school teachings from ancient Egypt. So that's kind of her ancestry, Kemet and, Egypt and Africa. So that's what she was feeling called to do. And then when she told me that she'd done the yoga teacher training, I was just like, oh, interesting. Like, I thought you didn't want to do that. I also had felt like I didn't want to do it because it's just become so commodified and so commercialized and so westernized that I just felt like a lot of the yogic sciences have lost their authenticity and their integrity. But I could see a lot of parallels between what I was studying with the Hermetic sciences and occult sciences and yogic teachings through my friend Russell, who I have featured on this channel here before, who is a yogi who lives in Bali. So yeah, we were talking about like the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and he's writing a book on, the divine feminine awakening. And he was like, oh, you seem to have studied a lot of yogic sciences. And I was just like, I've studied like Hermetics and occult science. And he was just like, yeah, this is the same thing that they teach in yogic sciences. And I was just like, okay, maybe there's like some foundational stuff in the yogic sciences that I need to actually formalize my study. And it's my ancestry as well. But I just didn't want to be learning it from one of these like bougie ass yogashalas that they have in Bali. It just didn't feel, it just felt icky. Like, it just didn't feel good. This is again like a video that I'm putting out this week about the power of no and the law of repulsion. It just didn't feel good to be in my field, to be signing up for any of these really overpriced teacher trainings. But when I asked her why she did it, she just said that she was, it was part of her sadhana, her spiritual practice. Every morning she was waking up and doing yoga and, getting a lot of benefit from it. And then she was also studying Kemetic yoga, but just on her own. So she just felt like it was just giving her, because she could see that it was so foundational to the body, mind, spirit connection, she just felt like she should just do it, not to become a yoga teacher, because neither of us want to be yoga teachers, but just as a foundational understanding. And a lot of the, the spiritual teachers that I follow who teach in the kind of feminine embodiment space have all studied yoga. They all have yoga teacher trainings because, again, it's foundational. So I kind of was just like, maybe I should do, a yoga teacher training as well. And she was just like, I have the perfect one for you. She goes, I've just finished a meditation course with this incredible teacher, and she is teaching Kriya yoga, Himalayan Kriya yoga. It's literally would be perfect for you because it's your ancestral, it's your origins, and it comes from the caves of the Himalayas, which is obviously spans both India and Pakistan and Afghanistan, and that's where a lot of my ancestry is from. And she was like, it's a very closely guarded system. It's not been like westernized or commodified at all. It's not, one of these ones that people are posting like beautiful asanas on Instagram in like bikinis and stuff. It's very different. And so I was just like, okay, this sounds interesting. So she sent me the video from the teacher, Pee-wee Sanchez, who is my guru now. And Pee-wee explained that how it's a system that basically activates the cellular remembrance of the fact that, at the start of it all, we were all one. We are all from the seed of creation, at the start of the Big Bang, or, the dawning of creation from the great cosmic mother. That's where we all come from. We come from the seed of her womb. She didn't say it like that. She used different language. But it activates that remembrance. And when you activate that remembrance, you start to be able to bend reality, like all these things that the yogic masters could do, like they could kind of astrally project and, bury themselves underground for 20 years and, all of this stuff. I'm holding my obsidian blade right now. It's just to protect my energy. I'm feeling very, like, clutching this very hard right now. And yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm going to go to one lesson just to see what it's about. I went to the lesson. It was pretty legit. It was, you'll see if you join the memberships that it's not like your typical kind of flowy vinyasa. It's very warrior-esque. And I was just like, yeah, this seems pretty legit. I'm signing up for the teacher training. So I only did one lesson and then I signed up for the teacher training. So it was kind of being thrown in at the deep end, and I did struggle in the first couple of days. But yeah, it's given me a lot of benefits. Even though I haven't been practicing it every day, I've not practiced it much at all since I got back to London, actually, to be honest, because I've just been getting settled, apart from the lessons that I've been recording for the membership. But even just from the amount that I've done over the last couple of months, I've seen such a powerful benefit. It's basically like a super highway of emotional detoxification. It basically uses dynamic movements. Kriyas are basically, it uses kriyas, which are dynamic movements, or mudras, breath work, chanting, and music, because sound is very much a part of attuning your body to the frequency of whatever it is that you're trying to work on. So we will use different types of music depending on which chakras we're working on, or whether we're opening up the energy channels. And so that's the first thing you'll do. You'll open up the energy channels. We've got all these different energy channels in our body. The Sushumna, which is, the central one, and there's 3 layers to it. That's through which you have the Kundalini activation, which I had a spontaneous one when I was 25. Some of you have seen that video. I'll link it if you haven't. But this will basically activate Kundalini awakening. And there's 3 different types of Kundalini awakening, which I didn't know until I did this course. So I think I've probably just had the most outer, the first kind, which was pretty insane. But knowing that there's more levels to it is, definitely motivating me to continue with the practice. But then you've also got your Ida and Pingala, which are your masculine and your feminine channels. So, that as you start to clear different chakras in the tantric system, also correspond to the masculine or the feminine. So like, for example, your solar plexus, that's a more masculine chakra, in that in men, or more people who embody more masculine energy, that chakra will be very dominant, whereas with women it will be more receptive. With me, my solar plexus has always been a little bit dominant. A lot of people have given me that read that my solar plexus is quite dominant, because my masculine energy has always been a little bit more stronger, which is why I've been doing the feminine embodiment work. to bring myself back into balance, because usually your masculine will be over dominant as a woman or a man because your feminine has been suppressed for whatever reason, because society has suppressed the feminine for eons. So this is, what we're awakening now. And this is why I've been so called to study the system, because it's about balancing those two energies. This is the Hieros Gamos, the sacred union of masculine and feminine. When you balance it within yourself, not only do you become awakened, but you also call in an awakened partner. But you have to get the union within yourself first. Otherwise, all the partners that you call in will be slightly imbalanced, and they will help to balance you out. But the more you study this system, the more you can do it yourself and accelerate that balance, so that you can kind of come into union with yourself. So this is why I'm bringing you this system. This is why I'm so excited about this system, because when you come into union with yourself, you become self-realized and sovereign, and you cannot be ruled over. You cannot be ruled over by an intimate partner. You cannot be ruled over by family members or bosses or people who are trying to harvest your energy all the time. And most importantly, you cannot be ruled over by state powers that want to control and enslave you. And that's what the real mission is here. So that's what I'm really, really doing with this work. It's not just about, your divine beloved and coming into union with your masculine counterpart or your feminine counterpart. It's about you coming into union with yourself and stepping into your power as a self-realized sovereign being on this earth and activating your mission. So what Kriya does is it actually will detox different parts of your body. So each part of your body, you're holding different emotions. So basically here, this is the channel of receiving from the feminine side, and this is your channel of giving. Is that right? Yeah, this is the masculine side. So this is the giving and this is the receiving. And then you also store it in your chest. So we'll do dynamic movements to release whatever you're holding on to there. There's responsibility, drama, abandonment, betrayal in your hips, guilt and shame, dark energies like blind rage that you store in your feet. Like that. Basically, when you start working on these different parts of your body using the Kriyas, you start to actually detox a lot of stuck and stagnant emotion from traumas and heartbreaks and bullying and humiliation and anything that you've been through in your life, or any limiting beliefs that were implanted by other people's ideas or societal belief systems. You just clear it all out of your energy channels and through your mouth and stuff like that, sometimes other orifices as well, but yeah, it's a very powerful system, and you will feel instant results. And then what I also noticed when I was doing the teacher training and afterwards was different parts of my body I would start to feel like pain. So I'd feel like pain in my left leg, but also going all the way up to my left arm. So I know that there's some blockage in my feminine side. So it's like an emotional feedback loop. It tells you what's going on within you. It connects you to your body, to your emotions. For those people who, dissociate for whatever reason, whether it's abuse or, just fear or ancestral stuff, or, it can even be past life stuff that causes you to kind of dissociate from your body and not be in touch with your body, not be fully embodied and recognize your emotions when they come up. And when you're feeling them, the pain will actually give you the clues. So sometimes lower back pain can indicate things like financial worry or kind of embarrassment about being seen. Pain in the neck can indicate inflexibility, not knowing which way to turn, a disconnection between the head and the heart. All of these things, it just makes sense when you actually start studying it. If you want to study it further, there's a very good author who's written about this, Louise Hay. So she wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life, and she also talks about how the body stores different parts of the body store different emotions. And she basically heals them using the power of affirmations, but the Kriyas work in a much more direct way. So if you want to join the memberships, I've priced it very affordably. It's going to be ready. I'm kind of just uploading and editing the first lesson now, so it's going to be launched very soon. Let me know. The best way to let me know, oh excuse me, my obsidian blade. The best way to let me know is to DM me on Instagram and give me your WhatsApp number. Please, when you give me your WhatsApp number, give me the plus, the international dialing code. So for me in the UK, that's the 44. If you're in Indonesia, it's 62. If you're in India, it's 91. So it's +91 and then the number, and send me the number on its own. Don't say in one message, hi Sana, I would love to join your Kriya classes, here's my number, and then the number, because when I copy and paste the message is copying all those letters as well, and it's just it takes me so long and I don't have time for it. So, you know, please, just to save my time and save your time as well, instead of us going back and forth or me just ignoring your message if it's too much effort, you can say, hi Sana, I'd love to join your Kriya memberships, and then send me the number with the plus and the international dialing code on its own, in its own message, in its own little bubble, and I will copy that and I will add you to the WhatsApp group. And I'm not going to say anything in the WhatsApp group because I do not want to be clogging up people's inboxes, because I know that you're all busy. I will add you to the WhatsApp group and you will be the first to know as soon as the first lesson is ready. I will also announce it on Instagram, but if you want to just get it instantly as soon as it's ready, then definitely send me your WhatsApp number. As always, I'm also available for sessions. I've had quite a few of you booking in coaching sessions with me, and that's been incredible, you know, just to be able to serve you. So I'm still available for those. Those are also priced quite reasonably. I'm not going to say the price on here because it might change in the future, and I don't know when you'll be watching this video, but yeah, just DM me. My prices are pretty reasonable right now, and I will try and get you slotted into my diary. So that's it. That's all I have to say today. And the next video that's coming is going to be on the power of no and the law of repulsion. So make sure you stay tuned in for that. Make sure you're subscribed. Click the bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it amongst anybody who could be helped by this. I love you all so much, Soul Fam, and I will see you in the next video. One love.
You're introduced to LSD, and unless you've taken some other drug, like for instance like marijuana or something, well, you know, it's an altogether new thing, and you actually